Okay, so this video is going to address Mrs. Rocha's integration of listening, speaking, reading, and writing in her lesson. And one thing that I really like about this interdisciplinary lesson that Miss Rocha created for her preschool classroom was the intentionality behind it. She makes sure that she differentiates for the kids, provides many opportunities for these kids to practice their reading, writing, listening, and speaking. She's aware of the levels, the interests, um, just things that are really appealing to the kids that she incorporates in the writing centers and into the art centers. So I'll go ahead and begin by talking about the leaf collecting process. How just in that part of the lesson, students were able to practice their speaking, their listening skills, as Mrs. Rocha reminds them, hey, don't forget when we go outside, this is what we're going to do. We're going to collect leaves that are big, small, medium, and also, don't forget about the colors. And she's, constantly reminding the kids, so that requires for them to listen on her part or on their part, so they don't forget the objective. And then also, too, when Miss Rocha pairs the kids into groups, this gives the children opportunities to practice their speaking skills with one another, reminding them to collect, you know, the big, medium, small leaves and leaves of various colors. And then once they're done with the leaf collecting, they go back into the classroom, and Miss Rocha um, asks them questions about the leaves they collected, and then she exposes them to writing by dictating their responses. And then there's a read aloud, which that covers the domain of reading, where kids are allowed to, or they're exposed to vocabulary that Miss Rocha emphasizes, such as um, over, around, across, squishy, squirm, just exposing the kids to that vocabulary, where they can incorporate into their language. And then the writing centers, this is here where she's very intentional with her lesson planning, and she provides a lot of opportunities for differentiation. She's got 4 baskets, all designed towards the different needs or interests of the students. The first basket covers the writing domain, which is Play-Doh with word cards based on a leaf hunt. So what I'm assuming is that what the kids do is with the Play-Doh, they look at the word cards and then they use the Play-Doh to make the words. And then to encourage, the writing, she has a basket with my leaf book that is empty, and some kids, scribble, some kids draw, some kids take words from the word wall to write in that area. So again, that covers the domain of writing. And then she also has a basket where she includes the importance of culture in children's lives. And then also, again, there's sentence stems that she uses that gives the children the opportunity to practice their writing. And then for her art center, um, I feel the domains that are being covered in here are the listening and speaking, where the kids are putting paint on their leaves and then plastering the images. And here you hear students using Spanish and English to communicate with each other, saying, "Oh look, mira mi hojas, y mira los rayas que tienen," which they're saying, like, "Oh, look at my leaves and look at the lines." And so they start comparing, the lines of their leaves, and that right there is just opening up conversation, allowing them to work on that speaking domain, and also listening, because they're listening to each other, and there's that exchange of words. And then there's also some open-ended questionings that Mr. Rocha uses, such as, "Hey, can you tell me why did you make that monster with the leaves?" And it really allows the children to expand on their thinking, providing opportunities for them to work on language development. And then there's other opportunities such as, look what I did with my leaves. I did a leaf pattern. So, I mean, there was a lot of opportunities in the art center for these kids to practice the domains of listening and speaking. And the reason why all these domains are, or the relationship among all these domains, is because they're very interdependent of one another, and they're all needed for language development. In order to become proficient and master any language, or to be, or not biliterate, or just to acquire, that language, we have to be efficient or proficient in reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So that's the relationship between all four of those domains. All four of those domains are needed and crucial in order for these children to truly, you know, have that language development they need and to become, biliterate, bilingual.